Welcome back, welcome back. This is entertainment purposes only, meaning none of this is true that I can prove, it's just thoughts. And not really talking about anything super, you know? So fair use. Through my journeys of learning to the Lord and trying to figure out the best way to serve Him and find others that know of Him. I've been through many different books and beliefs, and as I went through all these things, I found the Bible and the Quran are very similar, like yin and yang, but different in certain elements, I guess, or whatever, right? And the similarities are a lot of different things, but things are different, I guess, whatever. And I don't want to step on any or say any's right or wrong. Like I said, this is just thoughts, not talking to be right or wrong. Now, in the Bible, it says the Antichrist would come, or not the Antichrist, maybe it did, but that's not what I'm talking about. In the beginning, when the Lord cursed Eve, He warned her. After He told her a curse, He looked at the snake and cursed him. And He told both of them, your sons are going to fight one day, period. And Eve's son is going to bruise the head of Satan's son. Now that's always stuck out to me, because that's the Lord saying, something's gonna happen, mark my words. And that's like the Lord's favorite thing to do in the Bible, is like tell people, you're gonna know who the real one is because I say what the fuck's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen. And that's it. You're gonna figure it out because you're gonna know eventually, right? Now, in the Quran, I believe, or in Islam, because I'm starting to find out there's Christians, and then there's people that believe on the Bible or whatever. That's what they have over there too. They have Muslims, and then they have people that, I don't know which one's the whatever, you know what I mean? I'm starting to realize that about every place in the world. We all have these books, but then we have people that believe the books, and then other people that believe in that book in a different way, and they call themselves something different, but they all have faith towards that book, so it's like, I'm not trying to step on nobody's neck and say nobody's right or nothing. It's just something I observed. Now, recently, I think a day ago, I stumbled upon this Islam guy, and he was speaking about the Eminem album coming out and how it has like ties to like wickedness and all this, because he's speaking of that crazy shit, and I'm not going to get into that because, he did a video on that. So, lots of people doing other videos sound the horns, so you don't need me to break nothing down. I barely know what I'm talking about when it comes to that shit. I just know bad stuff from good stuff, just like you. Now, in his video, he says the prophecy of Allah is something about the Antichrist coming, and the son of the devil comes or whatever. And he says that it gave a description on what he looks like. And I don't recall as of this moment in the Bible things that would describe the bad guy coming or whatever. But I'm sure it does in certain ways, and at this time it slips my mind. But But the guy said that this thing that this guy's gonna come, he's gonna have one eye bulged out like a grape. And I never heard that before. I said, what? And the first thing that popped in my mind was Uncle Ruckus from the Boondock Show. That fat hating ass dude. His eyes bulged out. That one eye bulged out, right? And then it started making me think of like different cartoons and how they do the wink and stick their tongue out and they have one eye bulged out. And then it made me think of, what does every fucking woman do? What do you see every fucking day? They stick their fucking tongue out and they close their eye and they bulge that one eye out. And then I started looking at this guy started showing pictures of like the stars doing the one eye symbolism and all of that. And I said, oh shit. Then it made me think of that quote, the man with one eye shall rule them all. And I'm like, yo, all these fucking things. All these things. And so that made me think back onto the Bible and say, well, the Bible did say that Eve's son would bruise the head of this thing, this guy. And I said, what happens if he steps on his head like a serpent and he crushes his head a little bit and it makes one of his eyes bulge out? So that just, connecting those things just had me just thinking like, all right, that's very strange. And, I'm on my Commissioner Gordon Batman thing. There is no coincidences. Everything means something, and everything means multiple things, Sometimes you could think something is something bigger than what it is. Like, I've come to find out a lot of things is smaller than what we realize, and some things are bigger than what we realize. And that just gave me a really weird feeling. Like I said, the similarities of those two books, they even mention each other, Like in the Bible says that the men of the Lord created the Muslims. Literally. And then that would explain to me, not saying this is true, you know what I mean? I don't want to make nobody mad because, plagiarism and a lot of these things have to do with the truth and a lie. So, people will use these things to say, I own that. Like people are fighting over land and shit and saying it's mine by the name of the word of God, it's mine. So I don't want to step on that line, and I don't want to be a part of saying who's who and who's right, and because I can't prove nothing. That ain't my job. I'm just a black guy. I got my own problems. I got my own problems. They deal with their problems, and I got to worry about my American problems. I'm not worrying about people across the water and what they have to deal with. And, we all live in the same world, so it all affects each other. But I want to be me. I want to worry about my problems. I want to fix my broke man problems. Sound of horns. But yeah, like those similarities of describing the jinn, I think that's what the Islam people call it. Instead of Antichrist, I think they call it the jinn or some shit like that. And, so many similarities in the world. Like, all right, Islam people call demons the jinns. And I could have swore when I was like reading about samurais and all of that stuff, they call demons jinns, right? And, and then you know, like, you know? Like, it's just so... And then, like, the American version of bad things, spirits, what do we call them? Demons. The jinn, demon, jinns. It's all the same fucking shit, just pronounced a little differently. You know? And that's things that I've noticed about the world. It seems like there was a time that everyone knew the same exact shit. Everyone knew the same things about life and history, right and wrong, right? And everyone knew the Most High was real. And everyone had their own God over them that they talked to, and they didn't directly talk to the Most High. They talked to their angel thing, their God. But their God was not the one. It will, you know? Like, that's kind of why we all have messengers and stuff. And everybody has myths, everybody has mythical stories of their own people. There was always that one guy that there's a story of him doing Goku stuff. Things that nobody else can do. There's always a legend. There's always a myth of a team of people that came and freed the people or some, you know? And we understand some of these things are just stories and stuff. They didn't have super fucking powers or nothing. Some people don't understand that thousands and thousands of years, people never got to their full potential. So when you see LeBron James and all of that Michael Jordan shit, they're supermen. You think the average man can get up there and do that? No, they'll get abused. So those men are godlike to other men. They're gods. That's why the fuck do you think we call you the GOAT? You the God. He the God MC. He the God of basketball. He the... Because compared to every other man on the planet, they are so better than other men. And other men can't do nothing about it. You can only worship them. I mean, you ain't worshiping them. I mean, you do know everything about him, who his wife is, who his quote, what he believes in. You know about every stat that he has. You know about where he went to school. And then if I ask you, where's your creator? How many sons does he have? Who's his first adopted son? You won't know none of that shit. But if I ask you, what's Michael Jordan's 2 basketball numbers that he had to wear, I bet you know it. I bet y'all niggas know it because you worship them. That should sound the horns. My daddy's in the building. Sound the horns. And my daddy don't like that. He ain't never said you can't like other men. He said don't worship them, no. You know? Especially you can't be like them. The Lord asked you to be a good man. You know? You can do that. You can inspire to that. That can bring joy to your life. You know? You ain't gonna be LeBron. But you're gonna be a man just like LeBron is. You know? At the end of the day, we're all men. No matter how godlike we are, we're all going in that grave. And that's what proves we're all men. Because you can be the best of all. Oh, he the one. He this. You're going in the grave just like I am, dog. You have to wake up and eat just like I do. You have to take a shit just like I do. You have to deal with sadness just like I do. And money and having things do not just make sadness go away. Having things does not make happiness automatic. In the beginning, yes, because a man or a woman that has a lack of not having things will be happy they have things. But like scientists say, we get used to anything. So if you don't know how to actually be rich and splurge through time, meaning don't do everything all at once because you can now. Pace that shit out. No, people don't do that. And then they get bored with their life because they did everything someone would have took their whole fucking life to do just so they can go on Instagram and show off to everybody. Like, look, I'm done and you can't. Look, I got marriages and you don't. Look, I got another car. Look, I went to Japan. Look, I went over to London. Look, I went over there. And then about time you're 40, you're like, shit, I already done been everywhere. I done slept with all the hottest chicks in the world. They all look the same now, so there's nothing fucking different. Even if I want a different looking woman, they put makeup on their fucking face to look exactly the same. I'm in a robot world now. It's attack of the clones out here. I can only imagine what it's like to actually be a man that has a lot of money. You got your shit together and everything. And then you get out here in the world, you're like, I'm successful, I did it, boy. Now I'm gonna choose me a nice good one. And then you get out here and you're like, damn, yo, every chick that I do choose and then I find another one, they're all kind of the same. They really do dress exactly the same. They look a little different, but when they put that makeup on and I go out with them, I could sit at dinner or this place where we're at dancing, chilling, and there's like 8 chicks that look just like my chick. They got the same exact makeup style. The fucking dress is just a different color. What they're talking about is just the same. Everything's the same. You get it? Just like women. Women complain about that same thing. Nobody realizes we are in Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Everyone's a fucking clone. Anyway, let me jump out of here. Go to work. Hope you guys have a good day. Hope this random talking about things, just want to express myself a little bit. I seem to realize certain things we're allowed to talk about and what we're not. And I don't want no problems, man, but y'all gonna come anyway. So do what you gotta do, man. All love, all praise to the Most High.